Are we back? Are we back? Are we back on this? Are we back on this? I hear myself crisp. Listening to this. Pure bliss. Can't believe I'm back on this. Alright. Oh my gosh. Life. Life continues to occur. No matter what measures I go through to slow down life, it just keeps moving. And I'm going to assume that it continues to do the same for you. The rumination inside my mind the past week of feeling, it's questioning. This is November 28th on Tuesday. So, rewind a week ago. All this change in my thinking started 10 days ago, and it was on fire the first 5 days. It was just burning inside me. I couldn't even sleep. There was one day I didn't sleep. I slept from maybe 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I woke up mind running, so many thoughts. And I think I stayed awake there until like 6 a.m. And then I got dressed at 6 a.m. The sun was just coming up, and I went outside and I just started running. In the altitude, in the 20-degree weather, ice in my lungs, and I was just running. And I was running to quiet the thoughts in my mind, to try and get to this wordlessness, to try, and the key word is try here. I had this newfound mind power is the best way to describe it. And it was overwhelming. It was overwhelmingly good, but it was affecting my eating and my sleep. And this happened this is all before Thanksgiving. So I've been thinking in my mind about this pre-state that I was in, and then Thanksgiving, family, great memories. But there was this divide of how I felt, 10 days ago versus how I feel now. And now I'm back to, I'm not in the present. I just don't have it. And I hate to frame it that way, of having it versus not having it, because it's here. It's always here. But I was on fire before, and now I'm just kind of lukewarm now, and that makes me sad. But I'm very grateful that the podcast broke through, that I started it, that I don't want to say that I ignited and initiated this podcast, because there's so much meaning in this right here. I wish you were sitting in here with me, whoever you are listening. I wish that you could feel this right now as I'm recording it. It's drawing me back in to this now, to the present. I'm being drawn into it right now with this feeling of connectedness. It's a feeling of And maybe I've been putting too much pressure on it. I think having time away from the podcast, I was doing that thing I was talking about with spinning my wheels, whether it's not on editing this time, but it's the spinning of wheels on creative ideas about something. Oh, I could do this on the podcast. I could make this. I could have this segment. What happens? And I've been worrying about this moment, which is so funny because I've just been worried about like, the next podcast I do, what am I'm going to sit down and what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And the thing about this is that it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You guys remember that Mac Miller song off of Faces? It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Even if we win. Even if we win. Even if God himself point his finger at our side of the field. Even if, damn it. Darn it. So I can talk about this. I had my dad and I we were talking the other day. We were texting. We do text. We're not big phone call people, but we're texting, and we're trying to solve this problem on iMessage where he'll text me, and then on his side of the phone, it'll show that Alec has notifications silenced. And it's like a little message at the bottom of the iMessage. He tries to text me, and it says, your text didn't go through. Alec has his notification silence. And we've been talking about this for like 3 weeks on how to get this message off the phone. It's basically how to remove this silly little focus status message from your phone. So this is like an ongoing 3-week thing. And I had gone into the settings. I had done all the things. Okay? I had done... and I went into the settings. I turned off the focus mode. I turned off Do Not Disturb. I went on my Mac. I turned off Do Not Disturb. I went to my iPad and turned off Do Not Disturb because it's this iCloud shared devices setting. Anyway, we're watching YouTube video, and we're both researching it. It's bothering us both somehow. And yesterday, I found a subreddit. And if any of you have, the horrible thing is people won't be able to tell if they have it on, if they're showing this to other people, because only other people would know about it. And other people would have to contact them and say, hey, you got this thing on your phone. It's a horrible setting. I left a YouTube comment on one of the videos about focus status, and I just kind of laid into Apple, just a general this feature sucks. Anyways, but I had to turn off Do Not Disturb on all my devices. Basically, in the process of trying to fix this, I had to turn off Do Not Disturb. So that's why I just got a message on my Mac. And I normally don't like to get any contact or any interruption on my Mac. But anyways, we solved this. It's on a subreddit. Apparently, you have to ask Siri. Hey, Siri. Don't want to say it. I don't have my phone. Okay. I said, hey, Siri, turn off Do Not Disturb. And Siri will say, it looks like Do Not Disturb is already turned off. However, when you say that, it removes the little message that you keep pushing to all your contacts in iMessage that you're on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Anyways, I've just felt I want to be fully present like I was. And I'm looking at it like something that I'm reaching for. It's a reach. That earlier, before, I just had it, and now I feel like I don't. And I hate that I feel this way. This is the opposite of how I felt. Before I was the I am. Like this I am. It's happening now. It's inevitable. Now it's I'm not. And how do I get to be where I was? Isn't that sad? I mean, isn't that sad? So anywho, I will fight to be present. Fight to be in this now. And maybe this is maybe this is exactly how it's supposed to happen. It is not easy to achieve, internal peace. If it was super easy to achieve and there was some light bulb moment where a flip switch and it just stayed on forever, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. That's honestly what I thought. That's honestly what happened. I mean, a sustained moment in time where a paradigm shift happens in your consciousness, where you're super duper present, where there's very little thought, only pure consciousness, and that consciousness is connecting new ideas, it's pulling memories from the past that you haven't even thought about in years. It's pulling data, going back and connecting ideas and pinning things together at this rapid pace of ultimate presence where you're just laying there. I mean, this all really happened, and it was like a comet of extreme consciousness, and that was like 10 days ago. Like the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when I put out the pod. I mean, I was in the midst of it, and that lasted all the way up until, I had family coming to town. Well, I had Thanksgiving week, I had a couple dinners with friends, and then I had family come in, and I was with people the whole time, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I just couldn't tap into the level of presence that I had been in with so much social stimulation, with the day being pre-planned before I even wake up. It's like, so it's just the nature of the way things are, and I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, and I'm happy to be here right now. And I'm grateful to be here right now. I just think about the speed of life and how fast it feels sometimes. And that was the other thing about being super present, about being so in tune. And the thing is, I am that in tune. I am that in tune right here, right now. I'm still him. I'm still me. I'm still, the other thing is just confidence. It's like, as I get pulled closer and closer into the now, and what I'm saying into the microphone, feedback. This is pulling me into the now. This is helping me see and realize the now is here. It's a form of meditation. It's a form of therapy. You go and pay money to see a therapist, go buy a microphone, set it up, say something. That's your therapy now, boy. But it's just this. I only want to do things that will pull me into the now. I mean that. It's the most potent state I've ever felt in my life. The feeling of extreme sense. It sounds woo-woo. I can put all these big words around it and talk about how it's the state, how it's this hard thing to achieve, that all these factors need to be in place. No, it's not that hard to achieve. We are all achieving it. We all can tap into this. What is it? What am I talking about? Someone might be asking, what is he talking about now? Gosh, dude. What is this kid talking about? I mean, I'm talking about One, it's mindfulness. I mean, that's the most blanket term word we can pin at the top of the sheet, just mindfulness. What are we gonna branch off from this word mindfulness? Well, one, it's I listened to a podcast, Andrew Huberman called it wordlessness, which I liked. It's where you're doing something, you're engaged in something, whether it's mental or physical, you're engaged in something where it's causing your mind and your body to react to it and to get into this flow. I don't like the word flow because it's overused, but basically let's scratch that and back up. The normal state of a person in our society, we could say, would be they're thinking, they're preoccupied. There's a mental preoccupation. It's not engagement, it's preoccupation, usually with some sort of phone. Typically it's just thought, it's just thinking, it's thinking of the past, it's worrying about the past or regretting the past or analyzing the past. It's this turning in your mind on thoughts. And we can do that with the future too. On the other side, it's predicting the future. It's thinking about the future in a fearful way. It's worry. It's anxiety. It's thinking about responsibilities we have 2 or 3 months down the road. Those are the two states that we live inside of, that our mind is constantly bombarded with these two angles. And it's where most of us live. It's this unconsciousness. It's this, that word might be too strong right now, but it's this idling preoccupation. It's inability to feel the full range of what we are capable of feeling and thinking. So when I talk about this, the alternative to that, what is the alternative to that? It's wordlessness. It's the mind is off, and the deeper mind is speaking through. That's going to sound crazy. That's going to sound silly. I probably lost 2 listeners when I said that. But this is the most important thing that I'm learning, that I've learned, and that I want to continue to practice. And I want to practice this. And so this podcast is a practice of this because it's engaging. It's engaging. It is. Well, I mean, I want to talk about the things that pull me into this now. Well, there's a few things. One, being alone. I mean, I hate to say that to my friends and family, but it's just being alone. I mean, that's the square one is, can we turn off the need to socialize? If we can turn that off, there's some other things that we can do. Usually hiking in nature. That's the most trite way to become more present. But going on a hike, not saying anything to anyone, but being present and alert enough to spot the opportunity to talk to somebody. Like running gets me into the now. When I woke up at 6 a.m. and I went outside to run, because my mind was just flowing with connective data on pure consciousness, running on iOS 39, the future. When I got up and I ran, I couldn't. So there's a dichotomy I need to clarify here, because when I was super present, when I was like on one with the now, it wasn't thinking so much. They weren't my thoughts, but it was data. It was this windfall of data, of connective memories in my brain, connecting patterns. It wasn't so much chatter in my mind, but it was a lot of information in my mind. So when I woke up at 6 a.m. or when I was up and then I decided to run at 6 a.m., I had to turn off the consciousness. I had to turn off the like extreme level of just information in my brain that was just like processing. So I went for this run and I'm out there running and I'm just saying, what about now? I'm trying to turn off the extreme data of being in the now and get to this wordlessness. There was a bit of irony in this, trying to become present, turning off the thoughts, but at the same time you unlock some sort of Pandora's box where, oh no, there's too much information in your brain. It's not. They're different things. One is mindless chatter of the everyday life, of worry of the past and fear of the future and regret. And then there's this deep now, this deep ability to see past all that into this new field of information in your brain, and all that information gets sucked in, and it's still, both are noisy. Both are a lot of activity in your mind. I'd say one's really cool, one's really good, the now, and then one's really just average and normal. But I go for this run and I can't turn off the data because I'm so in the present and I'm so looped into this now that I can't turn it off. So I go for this run and I'm just saying, what about now? I'm 5 minutes into the run. I'm half a mile in and I'm just, what about now? What about now? And I can't turn it off, so I start running harder. And I say, okay, oh yeah, you can't turn off the thoughts now? Okay, what about now? And I start running harder and I get more tired. And there's less thoughts, but they're still there. I turn over to my right, I see the Pikes Peak, I see a mountain view. It's the sun's hitting me. I feel in one with the sun. I start running even harder. I say, well, what about now? Oh yeah, you can't turn off the thoughts. What about now? What about now? I'm just dead sprinting now, just full out, just as hard as I can, and I'm so tired and my lungs hurt so bad, and I'm sprinting through my neighborhood, and I just, what about now? And I get to this point where I'm so tired and so in the moment, I'm ripped back into this meditative state where I'm just, what about now? And there are no thoughts then. There's no data flowing then. It's wordlessness. But deep, deep alertness for what's happening, for what's there. Oh, I just ran past that small little mosquito bug on the ground. I noticed him, but I'm going to keep running. Oh, hey, there's a bird. 2 o'clock, 2:30, up above. Oh, yeah, he's watching me and I'm running. Oh, what about now? Step by step by step by step by step. Oh, we got a guy up here. Oh, I'm not going to worry about an interaction. I'm going to keep running, and when I see him, I'm going to give him a big old smile and say, hey, how you doing? And keep running because I'm present. So that's really, I guess that's more meta. That's more my own thoughts that I wanted to get through. But, yeah, the podcast. So